Let's discuss infection control. Understanding the correct use of disinfectants and antiseptics is the need of the hour. The hierarchy system, it is a grading system that involves organizing these methods into a structure based on their efficacy. The topmost tier, or the method that is there on the apex, is considered the more effective measure of achieving infection control than the base tier. Sterilization. It is a process by which an article, object, or a surface is freed of all the pathogenic microorganisms, both in the vegetative and the spore form. Disinfection is destruction of pathogenic microorganisms, but not the spores. It is a process that involves chemical or physical agents that are directly applied on inanimate or non-living objects. Antiseptics are milder as compared to disinfectants. These are agents that can be safely applied on the skin or mucous membrane. They help in reducing infection by inhibiting the growth of a bacteria or reducing the number of microorganisms. Sanitation is a process of reducing the microbial load to an acceptable safe level. Spaulding's classification, first developed in 1950s as a representative system that can help decide which level of disinfection would be appropriate for different items based on their potential risk of infection. Medical equipments or instruments can be classified as critical, semi-critical, or non-critical items. The critical items are those that come in contact with the sterile tissues. In dentistry, these include the extraction forceps, implants, scalpel blades, surgical burrs, surgical needles, periodontal scalars, and these critical items need to be sterilized. Semi-critical items are those that come in contact with non-intact skin or mucous membrane, but they do not penetrate them. In dentistry, these include dental probes, mouth mirrors, condensers, composite instruments, and so on. They require high level of disinfection. The non-critical items are those that directly or indirectly contact only the intact skin and not the mucous membrane. In dentistry, these include the dental chairs, X-ray equipments, light handles, and foot controls. They require low level of disinfection. Brings me to the next point, the 3 levels of disinfection. First is the high level of disinfection. Using these will kill all the pathogens, the bacteria, viruses, fungi, but not always spores. They can act as sporostatic but not sporicidal. Examples include glutaraldehyde and hydrogen peroxide. Next is the middleman, the intermediate level of disinfectants. Using these can help kill most of the pathogens but not spores. They are a little more selective in destruction of microorganisms when compared to high level of disinfectants. Examples include alcohol, phenols, and iodophores. Low-level disinfectants are those chemicals that can kill only vegetative or growing microorganisms. Examples include the quaternary ammonium compounds. Alcohol-based disinfectants. 2 important examples include ethyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol. They are effective against bacteria, fungi, viruses, but not spores. Mechanism of action, remember the mnemonic MACT, in which M stands for metabolism interruption of the microorganism, membrane damage which leads to cell lysis, and degradation or denaturation of the proteins of the microorganism. Are useful for hand disinfection, disinfecting clinical thermometer surfaces, skin before penetration and injection, as well as preservatives. The preferable or optimal concentration for use is 60 to 90% of aqueous solution. Surprisingly, water increases its efficacy as supported by many studies. If you have noticed, hand rubs with alcohol have low level of other chemicals are sold frequently because alcohol needs a vehicle, example chlorhexidine. As alcohol evaporates easily, an emollient can reduce the rate of evaporation as well as remain on the skin following the evaporation of alcohol. Please note that isopropyl alcohol is slightly more bactericidal and ethyl alcohol is more potent against viruses. Aldehydes. First, we will talk about glutaraldehyde, which is a dialdehyde that is a chemical compound with two aldehyde groups. Prime example is Cidex, which is a fast and effective solution used to disinfect a variety of medical devices and instruments. They are effective against a wide spectrum of pathogenic microorganisms, virus, fungi, and they are sporicidal at higher concentration upon longer exposure. Mechanism of action includes bactericidal, sporicidal. They can cause denaturation of proteins and inhibit transport within a cell. When it comes to pH, they are more active at alkaline pH and concentration. At a lower concentration, that is 0.1%, they can inhibit germination and they require longer exposure time, and at higher concentration they require less exposure time and they can be sporicidal. Uses includes disinfection of bronchoscopes, endoscopes, endotracheal tubes, rubber tubes, polyethylene tubings, and even metal instruments. Formaldehyde is a monoaldehyde, which is a gas that is quite an irritant and toxic when inhaled. It is a freely water-soluble gas which is extremely reactive. Formalin is a formaldehyde solution that is an aqueous solution of 37% formaldehyde gas. It is quite effective against wide variety of bacteria, spores, virus, and fungi. It is known to interact with DNA, RNA, and proteins of microorganisms. Unlike glutaraldehyde, formaldehyde gas can penetrate inside the inner cell wall of a microorganism. It is proposed to be mutagenic and carcinogenic. Formaldehyde gas is used to sterilize and disinfect instruments, catheters. It is used to fumigate patient wards, labs, operative theatres, clothing, bedding, and furniture. Because this gas is toxic when inhaled, when it is used for fumigation in hospitals, the effect needs to be nullified by exposing the environment to ammonia vapor after the fumigation is completed. Ethylene oxide. It is not an aldehyde, but it is also a gas that is used for sterilization and disinfection. Remember the mnemonic PCAN. It is highly penetrating even at normal temperature. It is highly explosive at concentration above 3%. It is colorless, and when it is combined with 10% carbon dioxide or hydrochlorofluorocarbons, it becomes less explosive. It can be used to disinfect instruments and devices that are heat sensitive, even plastics and suture materials, but they cannot be used to fumigate rooms or operation theatres because of its explosive property. The microbicidal activity is due to cellular metabolism and replication. It is known to react with the DNA, RNA, and proteins of the bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Activity against spores is still being studied in detail. Biguanides. An important example is chlorhexidine, probably the most widely used disinfectant, particularly in hand wash and oral products. Remember the mnemonic LBS road. It has low potential for irritation and therefore can be used on skin without causing damage. It has a broad spectrum of activity against microorganisms. One interesting thing to be noted is its biphasic effect. Its activity is pH and concentration dependent. It causes damage to the outer cell walls of the microorganism and then enters the inside or the interior of the microorganism via passive diffusion. It then attacks the inner cell layer or the cytoplasmic membrane. This causes leakage of the intracellular constituents at low concentration. But at higher concentration, it causes coagulation of the intracellular constituents. Sani scrub, which is a popular hand rub, it contains 0.5% chlorhexidine with 70% of ethanol solution. It is widely used for hand rubs, hand washes, surgical site disinfection, skin antisepsis before placement of catheters, and even in burn antisepsis. In dentistry, it is used to control gingivitis and periodontitis. Halogen means salt producing. They are non-metals but react with metals to form compounds. Two important halogens are iodine and chlorine. They are highly effective oxidizing agents which are widely used as disinfectants, antiseptics, and preservatives. First, let's discuss chlorine releasing agents. An important example is sodium hypochlorite, also known as household bleach. Chlorine exists as hypochlorous acid at the pH of 4 to 7, and it exists as hypochlorite ion at the pH of 9. The hypochlorous acid is the more active component and it is more efficacious. So, in order to improve the efficacy, one needs to lower the pH of the sodium hypochlorite solution. It is effective against bacteria, spores, and viruses. Remember the mnemonic CHOP. Its activity is dependent on the concentration, pH, and the percentage of undissolved hypochlorous acid. 5% concentration is most commonly used. It is used for root canal irrigation in swimming pools to clean spilled blood, disinfect surfaces. Iodine. It is an effective disinfectant that acts by iodination and oxidization of essential components within the microbial cell wall. Its original use was as a 2% tincture solution, which is an aqueous or alcoholic solution of iodine. It is more efficacious but can lead to irritation and staining, and it is mostly unstable. So to overcome this, iodophores were introduced. They are complexes of iodine and a stabilizing agent or a carrier. They are less effective against fungi and spores. They act by rapidly penetrating into the microorganisms and attack the key groups of proteins, fatty acids, and other important constituents. They destabilize the membrane and cause cell death. Most common example is betadine, which is used for skin preparation before surgery as oral mouthwash and also to clean wounds as well as ointments. Peroxides or peroxygens. They are a class of chemical compounds in which two oxygen atoms are linked together by a single covalent bond. An important example is hydrogen peroxide. It is an effective oxidizing agent, very useful disinfectant. It is effective against bacteria, virus, fungi, and spores. But for sporicidal activity, higher concentration, that is 10 to 30%, and longer contact time are prerequisites. Mechanism of action. Hydrogen peroxide acts by releasing free radicals that attack important cellular components of pathogenic microorganisms. This leads to cell death. 6 to 25% is the preferred range of concentration. A solution with 3% concentration requires contact time of 2 to 3 hours, and a solution 7.4% concentration will require a contact time of 10 minutes. It is used to disinfect surfaces, endoscopes, ventilators, and to disinfect semi-critical and non-critical items. Phenols. They have occupied a prominent place in the field of hospital disinfection since its initial use as a germicide by Lister. Lysol, Cresol, and OPP are most commonly used. To remember its mechanism of action, memorize the first and the last letter, that is P and L. 3 P's and 1 L. At higher concentration, they act as poison. They penetrate and attack the cell wall as well as precipitate proteins. At low concentration, they cause leakage of cellular constituents. They can be used to pre-clean and decontaminate surfaces and disinfect semi-critical and non-critical items. But be cautious. Always dilute phenolic detergents before using, especially in nurseries, as it can precipitate on surfaces and lead to hyperbilirubinemia in infants. The last disinfectant to be discussed is quaternary ammonium compounds. They are compounds with hydrophobic and hydrophilic groups that attach to various compounds and alter their properties or emulsify them. One example is cetrimide. Just like aldehydes, they are most active at alkaline pH, and the presence of organic matter reduces their efficacy. Mechanism of action is related to membrane surface permeability, leakage, and which eventually leads to cell death. They are effective against bacteria, virus, fungi, but not spores. They are used to disinfect floors, furniture, walls, and non critical equipments. They are also safe to be used as antiseptics on intact skin and mucous membrane. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Do like and share and subscribe to the channel Dentistry Unfiltered.